Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined, as always, by the boy.
Hey!
This is the Two Nerds Podcast, and y'all miss movies? I miss movies.
I miss movies, and I've actually been watching a new TV show, but boy, howdy, is it not worth podcasting about.
And in brief, we could mention that I've been playing Animal Crossing, you've been watching Burn Notice. What the fuck is there to say?
Yeah, alright, you know what there is to say about Burn Notice? I figured out when it came out, and then I realized I have been spending my entire adult life seeing the occasional ad or reference to Burn Notice and going, you know what, I think I'd like that. I should watch that someday. My entire adult life I've been doing this. And this current situation, I'm watching Burn Notice because that's what I'm down to.
The Backstreet Boys reunion tour is my favorite. So,
yep.
We don't have tickets that we're aware of, so...
I don't want tickets.
We're just going to stay at home.
Staying home. Steve Carino can get the fuck out of my house.
Okay. So, what we're doing here is, it's been a wild ride these last few weeks. I've had a few, oh, look at that, I've been up for 26 hours, cool days. And during one of them, I decided to grace my good friend, the boy, who's been a very good friend, especially in the last couple weeks, but for the last, I don't know, what, fucking 13 years? Something like that?
Something like that.
14, 15, who knows?
Current age minus 17, that many years.
I don't have time for that math. No, look at that. We're already over a minute and a half into
the podcast. It's no time.
He's been a long-time fan of the epic rap battles of history.
Yeah, it's a YouTube series I really like, and I've liked for a long time. Not as long as it's been going on. That becomes important later. And but I keep coming back to it. I will go watch old episodes. One of the few things I rewatch with any regularity. And I include, movies I really fucking love and television shows I really love. I rewatch almost nothing, except, shit like this. I have probably rewatched more episodes of ERB than most other things.
Well, there are songs, and they're very short, so they're very digestible. They're
very short, minute and a half little digestible songs. And they are a confluence of two things I like pretty well, which is, basically puns at the, it's battle rap, but it's not really. If you go watch actual battle rap, they're pretty different formats. But they're fun little rap songs that are insult competitions, puns, and historical references and references to pop culture. Just a nice little melange of things I like. And I thought I remembered most of them until my good friend White Raven decided to do an objectively crazy thing and watch them all in a row and review them. And I went, fuck, I forgot that was a thing. Fuck, I forgot that was a thing with so many of these.
Well, and part of that is because when he brought them to my attention in the first place, I did not care for them. I was a shittier person back then. Go back to old podcasts. I'm sure you can find it.
We both were.
We both were. But specifically me, my tastes were very different, and I was very impatient with stuff that blah, 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 blah. There was a lot of stuff that rubbed me the wrong way immediately, and I refused to see past it. In specific, drove me nuts.
Yeah, that is the exact kind of unbelievably petty thing
right?
That would cause you to dislike an entire work of media.
Exactly. Yeah, that's me. Well, it was me. It's not me anymore. And that's part of the reason. Partially because he's my good friend and, indulge in the stuff your friends like. Just try it out for him. And if you hate it, hey, that's fine. You gave it a shot. If you don't hate it, hey, cool. Now you got another good thing to talk about with your good friend. But I wrote it all down because he was working and or asleep. As I said, I was crazy and up for 26 hours. So, we didn't have anything to podcast about, and this bean over here is like, hey, I've got nothing else. Please, let's just do this. And I was like, yeah, it's a terrible idea, but here we are.
We do a podcast every week. Nothing is happening that we feel like fucking talking about. I'll put it like that. So, this was ready-made content, YouTube.
Yeah.
Just to get right out front, there is actually a fairly large market on YouTube for ERB reactions. This is not that. We're not going to be watching them and pausing 300 million times and reacting to every single word that the people say.
I mean, it took me 6 hours to do this, so I'm not putting that kind of podcast up.
We're not doing that. Just, if that's what you're here for, There are many other much more entertaining channels that do that exact thing.
Well, and we're going to say the titles of each rap. So if you want to listen along, if you want to make this your 6-hour investment, by all fucking means, we'll say blah, blah, blah versus blah, blah, blah. And you can go and pause and pull it up in another
Listen
tab.
to the whole thing.
Listen to the rap.
Come back.
Yeah, come back and hear our story.
If you want to give us watch time like that, give us watch time like that, friend.
Shit, yeah, I ain't going to argue with it.
But let's get started, I think.
Yeah, let's go ahead, because this is going to be kind of a longer one, because there's a lot of raps.
Yeah, they've been doing this a long fucking time. It became immediately apparent because I forget the entire first season happened because it didn't show up on... It's not on their channel. It's on Nice Peter's channel. They made their own channel for it in season 2. I forget most of these exist because I just don't listen to them that often.
I went through them all that I could find. I'm worried I might have missed one or two because of the weird formatting they did on some of them, but whatever.
If we did, I don't care. So move on.
And if these aren't in order, again, I don't care. They're roughly in order by season, I think.
Yeah.
So we start off with John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly. This wasn't...
I genuinely remember only, I remember a general theme. I think I've watched this once. I didn't like it, so I don't watch it anymore.
Well, they didn't do voices.
No, I think this may have legitimately been the first one they put up.
Yeah.
And this was before they started doing voices. This was before they did the thing which made them famous, which was Video 2. And I'm sure it's just probably not very good. I'm sure it's fine. No.
There's some real bombs later that woof, but this was just kind of like...
It's not the worst one. The worst one is a recent season. We'll get there.
My choice for winner was Bill O'Reilly. I don't remember why, but I thought his raps were better, I guess.
He was probably funnier.
Yeah, that might have been the case. Also, the fact that they're not doing voices, and these are two guys who are really easy to impersonate.
Yeah, that's fail.
Like, John Lennon, be maybe English. Bill O'Reilly, yell.
Bill O'Reilly, all right, some of our actual opinions on people are going to come out during this. I'm not apologizing. Bill O'Reilly, be a pompous windbag. John Lennon, be a pretentious douche, also English. It's not hard to do.
And they didn't, and that makes me sad. Let us move along to the first...
in the grand trilogy.
Darth Vader versus Hitler. These are all bad.
They're all bad. The third one is okay.
The third one's all right. Third one is better.
The first two are not good.
No.
I like them because they're historic for the channel, not because I find them good.
There's some spicy fire in some of those lines. So
look, I'm gonna make a controversial statement. Hitler bad, but
I did not a fan of Hitler.
He did win this. I don't like saying Hitler won. You literally have written, I don't like saying that because he's Hitler. But he did. It mostly because neither of them were on beat at all, but Hitler was closer.
I mean, Hitler had some decent lines.
And he had a couple very spicy jokes. Yeah. And if you're going to play Hitler, you have to do the spicy jokes.
He was a spicy boy. He would have been an egg. Mm-hmm. That man.
Oh, yes.
Episode 3, Abraham Lincoln versus Chuck Norris.
This battle is... I literally only give a shit about this battle because it started the Lincoln meme, which continues through the channel, and I love the Lincoln meme. You have this written down, and just to confirm, aren't most of Chuck Norris's lines literally just Chuck Norris jokes?
Yeah, and I guess,
It was so long ago that was still
that
kind
might
of
have
funny.
been relevant, but I still think it was a little past the Chuck Norris joke.
It was a little past, not much, not 2020 past.
No,
where it's a fucking that and Nyan Cat are the only things remaining from the old internet.
I'm sad they didn't do a Chuck Norris voice. Because Chuck Norris has that smooth-ass, calm voice.
But this was, again, the voices were sketchy then.
Yeah. But I some of these I would love if they revisited. They revisit one we're going to talk about here in a moment.
And the new version's a lot better.
It's a lot cleaner. I would love if
because they're much better at their craft.
Sure.
Now.
Well, yeah, but I I felt like Abe Lincoln won this one, although I don't know why he was going to eat Chuck Norris's chest hairs. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
I had been giving these star ratings in the thing. Do you think they want star ratings?
Sure. This is out of what, 5?
Yes. Well, we're using the Meltzer scale, so who knows? John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly got a 2.
Can't go one podcast without fucking trying to punch Dave Meltzer in the dick. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but still.
Darth Vader versus Hitler was also a 2. Abe Lincoln versus Chuck Norris, 1 star for Chuck, 3 for Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
So next we have Sarah Palin versus Lady Gaga.
What an absolute waste of Lady Gaga, because they try not to repeat people where possible.
Sure.
Unless they are forced to by circumstance.
Sure. This was not a good time to be making fun of Lady Gaga, though. Like, it didn't age well, because this was in that weird cusp.
This was before Lady Gaga got over.
Basically, yeah, but like just before.
Yeah, like she got over right after this video, and this video immediately stopped being funny. Well, the Gaga parts. The Palin jokes did age fine.
I like her rapper, and she shows up in a bunch of other videos, and she's usually really quality.
She's good.
Yeah, she's very
You
good.
can always tell when they have guest stars sometimes, and you can tell when the guest stars give a shit, first off, and you can tell when they're actually decent at like rhyme, and that's nice.
A line I liked was most dysfunctional family since the Jackson 5. That hit pretty good.
That was a good line.
Yeah.
Like sometimes one line will. You also have written who you think won each battle.
Yes.
And I generally agree. Mm-hmm. Sometimes a win is down to one line. Sometimes it's just an overall better performance. In this case, Palin, unfortunately for the person doing Lady Gaga, their whole bit stopped being funny like 3 weeks after the video, so Palin wins.
Whereas, yeah, Sarah Palin's still the same fucking person. So
still that's still okay. Well,
and if you guys disagree or you disagree with my ratings, please let me know in the comment section.
Please comment. I actually am always pretty interested to hear people's opinions on this series because it's an interesting little diagram of stuff I like. So please comment.
I gave this 3 stars for Sarah Palin, 1 star for Lady Gaga. Very, very weak attempt.
Yes.
But now we move on to the one I mentioned earlier, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man versus Kim Jong-il.
Yeah, the Mega Powers versus...
I think he just started as Hulk Hogan versus
and then
Kim
he tagged
Jong-il,
in
and then
Macho.
tagged in Macho, yeah.
It was a terrible Macho Man impression, if memory serves.
Oh, it was just garbage, and he's got such a...
Macho Man is not a hard impression to do. I can do a Macho Man.
The Hulk Hogan one was not much better.
Do you have any idea how bad I am at impressions? I can do a Macho Man. Yeah.
I like that was like sort of like a exploratory Macho Man.
Yeah, I'm just testing it out.
Soft question mark at the
just,
end.
just testing it out.
And that the problem I had with Macho Man, and maybe this was a joke about the man's own rap career, but he was not rapping on beat at all. Like he wasn't even trying.
If this was a later season, I would believe it was an intentional joke.
Well, and especially I don't think it is because when they redid it in 2019,
he was on beat.
He's on beat.
Yeah, so if this was a later season, yes, that was I would believe it because they do that a couple times in later seasons.
Now, the guy playing Kim Jong-il, amazing.
Yeah, well, he's an actual rapper.
Sure. I mean, technically, these guys are too. Technically, Aaron Hansen's an actual rapper.
You know what I mean?
Very successful.
You know what I mean? I believe it's the same guy who does Sun Tzu later.
Yeah, well, he was good.
Sun Tzu won that battle.
Spoiler alert. But yeah, I feel like Kim Jong-il won this one. In the original video, 3 stars for Kim, 1 for the Mega Powers. In 2019, it's a 3-star all around. It's fine.
Yeah.
Some of the bars are still
I
kind of
don't
weak,
disagree with any of that. That sounds fine.
And we move on to Justin Bieber versus Beethoven. I felt like Justin Bieber won this one.
Again, I don't like saying that because he's Justin Bieber. Yes, I'm aware I just compared him to Hitler. But
is it 2016 in here? Holy shit!
The joke is right there. I had to do it.
Fine.
But yeah, no, the Justin Bieber jokes are fine. The Beethoven jokes are fine. Bieber's trying more, I think, is the only reason he wins.
Well, on Beethoven, his first verse was good, but then it wasn't.
The rest was bad.
It was just not good. Although, thank you for Bach showing up in the background for his visual aids.
Yeah.
That was much appreciated. And I did like the Justin Bieber line, I understand why they used a dog to play you in the movie. That is both...
That's in character and a good burn and hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. I gave this one 3 stars.
There you go.
Okay. We move on to Albert Einstein versus Stephen Hawking. And I feel like this is a quality jump.
I entirely agree. This is the first ERB I watched.
Okay, that makes sense.
I went back and watched the older ones later, but this is the first one I just saw which one was next. And it's what made me want to watch the rest, because this is just really good. The Albert Einstein he's having fun with it, but I really love that they went with the Hawking voice for Hawking, and the guy playing Hawking just straight up he's not moving. And, like, they had so many good, as the saying goes, and I will be dipping into some colloquialisms. I'm not going to do a voice with them because I am painfully Caucasian. They had fire bars, as the saying goes.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you could have said that more whitely.
I'm trying.
Okay. I love that they kept Stephen Hawking in the chair the whole time doing nothing. That like you could have easily, it would have been the easy joke in that time to have him get up and do a big swaggy dance. And they didn't. He just sat in the chair. And
at the end dedication. When they were doing the dance, that's dedication to your craft.
There were a lot of good lines in there. It's whatever. Listen to the rap. But I feel like
I will try and call out really good lines.
Sure.
Occasionally. Was it there are 10 million particles in the universe that we can observe. Your mom took all the ugly ones and put them into one nerd.
Not a bad one. Not a
bad one at all.
But I feel like Hawking won. I thought he was consistent throughout, whereas
Einstein, I agree.
Yeah. 4 stars for this rap. This was quality work.
God damn it! What the fuck?
The next rap battle is Genghis Khan versus the Easter Bunny. And I'm just going to read my notes here. I'm going to read them verbatim, and I think we can move the fuck on.
Agreed.
Genghis Khan versus Easter Bunny? What the fuck? Winner, Genghis Khan? Comments, what the fuck? Rating, 1 star.
Moving on.
To Napoleon versus Napoleon Dynamite.
It's a really good Napoleon Dynamite impression.
Yeah. And they did a bar in French. And
it's a good bar.
Yeah, I don't speak French.
I don't speak as much French as I used to, because here's the fun fact. I used to be conversant in French, and if you don't speak a language for a decade, it goes away. Cat is literally rubbing the microphone.
Nice. That's some cat action you guys are getting right now.
And we're moving on.
Okay. There was a line about meringue, and I don't remember what it is, because, again, this was like a week ago. But if they mentioned meringue when you watched the video just now, if you're following along, it's a tight line.
Yep.
I thought Napoleon Dynamite won. That impersonation was fire.
Yeah, same. It's the impersonation.
Yeah, it was just so solid.
Just so we're clear, I don't like Napoleon Dynamite.
I'm not a huge fan. Like, I saw the movie. It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I'm not a big fan of the movie, but if that's what you're doing, you really went for it.
It was in character. So when I say the impersonation is good, it's not just, wow, you make voice sound like person, but also the lines are really written from their perspective and something they would say.
And acted out well.
Yeah.
And yeah, just agreed.
So I gave this one a 3 star. Let's move on to our first good boy.
Oh,
the first good boy.
This one is great.
It's listed on the playlist as Ben Franklin versus Billy Mays. But we have a third friend who joins us, and that friend is Vince Offer. And
this is a real good one, folks.
That I don't remember Vince Offer having the physical quirks they gave him.
I think it's an exaggerate, because he does have very, like, jittery...
He's a creeper.
Well, as a person, yes, but
like physically as well.
Yeah, like yeah, actually, and I think that's an exaggeration for comedic effect.
That's fine.
I like how you rephrased that for podcast.
Yeah.
He wrote a spicy joke there. We're gonna not tell you.
No,
sorry.
I like to be more polite in public. The boy is my spicy friend, so I'd be spicy at him because it's appropriate. The costumes were fantastic here. I have a line I pointed out. You're just a lumpy pumpkin who invented the mail. That's a really good, like, the first part is really good wordplay. Lumpy pumpkin is an interesting word, and to rap it and on beat and all that, It's an interesting phrase, obviously. That shows talent. Who invented the mail? Like, it's such a fucking drop.
God, it is so stupid. It works because it's dumb.
Yeah, it couples together really well, like a fucking lyrical sandwich. But everything was amazing, 5-star. And I feel like Billy Mays won hard. He was amazing.
I don't remember enough of the battle to say one way or the other. My gut says I remember Vince Offer being the one I walked away going.
Vince Offer was pretty spicy. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, no, that's fair.
Next up, we have Gandalf versus Dumbledore.
Yeah, Gandalf versus Dumbledore. One, you and I agree on who won. We'll get that in a minute.
I have an unfair bias toward this one, but I tried to tamp it down as much as I could. Please ignore my all caps typing angry door. Excuse me, Angry Dro.
Angry Dro Dumbledore's Army is what you wrote, actually.
Sure is. I like the American sounding Scottish Dumbledore more than wispy dying Dumbledore. So.
Richard Harris is a treasure, and you will not besmirch his name. But Dumbledore did still win this. Sorry.
Richard Harris is a reliquary. Thank you very much.
Oh, fuck! I think that was better than any of the jokes in the fucking rap battle. I think we're good to move on.
Well, I have a criticism specifically I want to point out here. We both agree Dumbledore won. Gandalf opens up by saying that he raps fast and then doesn't rap fast.
Yeah, I rap fast like Shadowfax. No, you don't. You rap slow the whole time. You don't
set yourself up for failure, Gandalf.
You don't say so. There's a couple times where that will lose someone a battle.
Yeah.
There is one particular battle that I disagree with a big chunk of the internet on, simply because there's one line that loses the guy everyone else thinks won the entire battle for me. Because you don't just say false shit. We'll get there.
What's the Elvish word for Gandalf? Moron. There you go.
Well,
it's 3 stars.
We all have to live with that having happened.
It's
now.
good. It was good because it's in the movie. You remember when he goes melon?
I need you to move on now.
We move on to Dr. Seuss versus William Shakespeare.
This is one of the ones This is one of the few that we actually very heavily disagree on.
Okay.
I really like this battle.
I did not care for this.
I love William Shakespeare's first line being entirely in an iambic pentameter.
Yeah, but it like...
I love that in his second verse, I think they let Watsky, like, unleash the beast and go and rap as fast as he usually does.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I liked that. But, like, I just didn't like the lyrics very much. They were really... I want to guess, because I haven't listened to this in a while, based on my predilections, it was a lot of really dumb insults and poopy jokes or dick jokes.
I don't quite remember.
And especially because we're talking about Shakespeare, I have to imagine lots of poopy and dick jokes. That's some Shakespeare 101.
Yeah, that would be fair. I mean, it would be in character.
I would say Shakespeare won, but like I didn't care for this at all. I gave it a 1 star for the song. However, that Theodore Giesel acting, staring dead-eyed into the camera.
Slowly painting other people to rap for him. One of the reasons I, 1, really like this battle, and 2, am firmly on the side of Shakespeare, is I despise Thing 1 and Thing 2.
I mean, yeah, no, that's part of what made me overall just not like this song.
They're really goddamn annoying.
Yeah, they were. And the cat wasn't much better. Like
Not much, I could not on a boat read any of the boring ass plays you wrote is a good bar, though.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. There's a lot of boring ass plays. We have next Mr. T versus Mr. Rogers. My notation here. That Mr. McFeely costume was absurdly good for being on screen for 4 seconds.
Commitment to the craft.
I guess.
I don't like this one, at least partially because it's like not a very good Mr. Rogers. Like,
no, and they did this better later with other kind figures.
Yeah,
where they went with their
version of Bob Ross is much better than their version. I feel like they're still
feeling it out. This is still the first season.
Yeah, this is still the first season. They were feeling it out. They weren't quite aware of how much better it works when you actually go for broke on the like. Imagine if Mr. Rogers had just spent the entire time complimenting Mr. T on all his good works and all the things he's done and just being literally. I think he would have won hands down.
Yeah. I did like the line, "I'll chop you into 4 black dudes and remake Cool Runnings."
Because that makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah, first of all, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Second, came out of left field hard. But also, the conceptualization of that is like, what the fuck?
Do you think black people are Warhammer orcs? What the fuck?
I felt like Mr. T won this one, but I only gave it a 2-star rating.
Yeah, both are fair. I just don't like the Mr. Rogers very much.
Next battle is Captain Kirk versus Christopher Columbus. I did not expect to like this one.
I don't remember this at all. Like, I know it's a thing, but I just genuinely don't remember anything that happened in it.
My biggest issue with it, and I think what kept it from being a 5-star, it was only 4, is that for the William Shatner, they had him very Shatnery, but also offbeat. And I don't think that's a good idea. You can do a Shatner on beat.
Well, also, Kirk wasn't all that Shatnery.
He wasn't that bad, no.
Shatner played that was Flanderization.
Yeah.
Like that got mimetically worse as the years went by.
Well, and it was all about his when he started doing his spoken word albums later, he made it even more pronounced.
He turned into the meme and made it much more powerful. But
yeah.
If you go back and watch the original series of Star Trek, it's not that bad. It does exist, it is there, but it's just not that bad.
Now, I recommended at the time that if they had done some dubstep drops, which dubstep did exist when that was a thing, I think they could have done Shatner really well. Can you imagine with those long pauses, some sick drops in the beat?
Yeah.
That would have been so amazing. But I feel like Christopher Columbus won.
Okay.
And
I think I maybe have entirely missed this.
I gave it 4 stars.
Okay.
Okay. Next, we have Nice Peter versus Epic Lloyd. I don't like these.
This was obviously literally just a setup to do season 2.
Sure, and they keep doing them, but I still keep not liking them.
I like the second one a lot, but that's because I'm much more familiar with not just the content on the channel, of which we are now equally familiar, but like their second channel and their,
It's just like... It'd be like if we put a podcast out where we made a joke about having a fight. Yeah, we know too much about each other,
and they do get weirdly personal in these.
Yeah.
Like they make jokes that don't come across as very funny.
Yeah, it's more like, oh, why would you remember when you went to my mom's 3rd grade party and you looked at her funny? I didn't care for that, friend.
Oh shit!
It's fucking. That's not something they said. I don't fucking remember this shit. I don't commit this to memory. I'm not you.
The ones I remember, I can probably name at least 1 or 2 lines from all of them. I'm not going to do that because I want to be here for 6 hours. But,
I gave this one a 1-star rating, and I did the same for the next one, which is the beginning of season 2, Hitler versus Vader 2.
I like this one better.
Than the first one?
Yeah, than the first one. They get progressively better. 1, Vader is much better. He's on beat in this.
Oh, the rapping is better, don't get me wrong. And maybe it's one of those things where I started with a 2 because you don't want to start at the bottom, and I didn't go back and review anything.
But I like this one better than the first one. I think Hitler is funnier.
Yeah.
He's slightly more on beat. Lloyd's Hitler never really gets all the way onto the beat.
I think it's more about the joke of the fascist screaming. So
yes. It has some better jokes in it. Like Hitler has, of the 3 in each battle, he makes one very spicy joke. Of the 3 of them, the one in this one is my favorite.
Yeah.
But Vader's performance is much better. Was it? You even have it written in quotation marks. The punchline was it? Brain toss your ass, Yahtzee.
Yeah, that was really good. Yahtzee. You want to hear that. My winner here is Stephen Hawking.
Because you're standing over the Sarlacc pit? Fair.
So, we move on to Master Chief versus Leonidas. I wanted to like this one more. Because... Oh, I wrote some things here that are not accurate. Leonidas started out pretty strong, but then just went downhill fast once he started rapping.
Yeah. Also, I like Leonidas. I like Master Chief. But there is a clear winner here, and it's the Chief.
Oh yeah, Master Chief did much better. I put this somewhere between 2 and 3 stars. Like I had a hard time going like this sucks, but it wasn't that great either.
All right. Can you do me a favor? Can you check the time?
Check the time. You trying to make this into a 2-parter, my friend?
Well, we have enough material for like 5 parts, but I feel like that's excessive.
Well, I tell you what, my guy. We are running long here. So let's get to the end of season 2, and then we'll cover the rest in another video.
I like that idea.
I like that idea too because it gets us more videos.
That's right.
Let's go right along to the Wright brothers versus the Mario brothers.
I like this one.
I like the Wright brothers a lot.
That is Red and Link from Good
Yeah, I
Mythical
found
Morning.
that out later. I can't believe they're such good rapsmen.
Basically, they get handed a script and they do what the script says, but they're actually trying. This is one of the things I meant. You can tell when the guest star is trying.
Yeah. And I liked where they went with the Mario brothers. I just didn't think that the written lyrics were that great. I thought they were a little, like, lame duck.
Yeah, same. I like the Wright brothers much more. I feel like Peter and Lloyd were much more comfortable making jokes about the Wright brothers than the Mario brothers, essentially.
Right. I didn't mean to do that, but...
Hey!
So, anyway, I feel like they won, and it's a 3-star rap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. This is a
fucking creaming. This is
yeah.
a fucking pie-facing, like, this is a slaw.
This is set up.
This is, like, they wanted someone to win on this.
This one was...
go ahead and do the intro.
Elvis Presley versus Michael Jackson, if you want to go listen to it real quick.
I love Lloyd's Elvis. I like the evolution of it. I like how it... As you wrote here that it sounds more Elvis later. It sounds good the whole time. He is doing 3 different impressions, because if you go back and listen to old interviews of Elvis, it's actually a really good Elvis for back then.
Yeah, it's just...
The meme of Elvis is Fat Elvis, so he sounds more Elvis-y to your ears when he's Fat Elvis, because that's what Fat Elvis sounded like.
Sure. Even back then, though, and maybe the difference is like his singing voice or like his one-liners that he would give to interviewers or when he would be on a movie. Because I watched a bunch of the old Elvis movies back in the day. It's been a while. But, like, he still had that Elvis. I feel like he maybe should have started at what he did for Fat Elvis and then gone even further.
Like, start with what Elvis sounded like at the end of his life and then make the actual Fat Elvis just a fucking cartoonish.
Yeah, I think it would have felt a little better.
I like some of his lines. I love his shtick. Bro, he gets blown out the fucking water.
Destroyed.
Michael Jackson walks away with this.
Moonwalks away with this.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. They got a kid to do the actual kid raps. That was smart.
Yeah.
Just like, and the adult Michael Jackson was just so
Some of
good.
Nice Peter's some of Nice Peter's impressions are bad. We'll get to those. I'm mad about them. This one's not. This one's really good.
Fantastic. So yeah, I gave that 5 stars for the Michael Jacksons, 2 for the Elvi.
I would give the Elvi a solid 3 personally. I like
fair.
Lloyd's Elvis. I think it's fun. I think they went in knowing who was going to win.
Sure. How do we crush Elvis? Next we come to Cleopatra versus Marilyn Monroe. I thought this one kind of was tough to judge, actually.
I agree. This one has some of the hardest hitting, like, actual punches.
Yeah.
In battles, like, battles before and after it. This one is right up there with the top of their work in terms of actually really hurtful things you could say to someone in a rhyme.
Yeah. But it's not 2 guys I don't know who know each other personally. It's, fucking historical characters.
It's historical figures. Cleopatra versus Marilyn Monroe is a very difficult one to judge. I personally pick Cleopatra.
I do too.
Just because I feel like Cleopatra's... I feel like even though Marilyn Monroe has the last verse...
It doesn't matter, and it's weak.
She's already... Cleopatra, it's not great. It's not like a really... You'd have to come back really hard from you've lost so many babies, they should call you miscarriage.
It's so direct. It's so obvious, but it's...
And it's a really good Marilyn Monroe joke.
Oh, it's so good.
Like, just, you suck isn't necessarily always a good thing to do in a rap battle. But
we'll get to that one.
Yeah. But if you can make it fit as like an actual very specific insult about that person, it works really well. And don't get me wrong, Marilyn Monroe had some very funny lines of her own.
Yeah.
But like, for me, it's tough, but it's Cleopatra.
I come down to the same thing. And I think both of the women in this rap battle, very talented.
You know, I'm not reading your notes as we go, but I look once I'm done talking because I don't want them to let me influence.
Sure.
We I end up agreeing with them a lot because we just sort of agree on most of these.
We're smart and handsome people who...
And we've been friends for more than a decade. We're kind of similar.
Our opinions are better than yours. Fight us in the comments.
Oh, okay. Now you're just baiting. That's
I am. What am I not?
That's
Look,
fair.
okay, if you disagree with me, subscribe to my Patreon. $5 a month, you could get sneak preview chapters of the books that I'm writing and a bunch of other crap that I put up there. So, yeah, that'd be pretty cool, huh? Anyway.
That would be cool.
That was a 4-star wrap. I feel very solidly. We're going to move to Steve Jobs versus Bill Gates versus eventual special guest Hal 9000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you take off here?
I really like the Bill Gates versus Steve Jobs portion.
I did too.
It's full of really good references to those guys' lives, their actual friendship. The Bill Gates impression is bad, but very, like, funny mean. And the Steve Jobs impression is not it's not really an impression. He's just kind of doing a thing. But it's full of very fun, well-constructed raps, and like, it's one of the ones I know the ones I really like because I end up singing them a lot. Like in the shower, when I'm washing dishes or making dinner. This one comes up to me. The problem with this battle is that Hal 9000 sucks all the oxygen out of the fucking room.
I appreciated the Fruity Loops shout out because back when I made music, I used Fruity Loops, and that makes me feel good. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of times I can hear in like certain rap songs and certain techno songs, people are using beats that are instruments from like the default Fruity Loops pack.
I think I liked this song better back when I was more bitter at Apple for existing.
Sure. I think this... I don't think these guys are very Apple strong, honestly, because they gave Bill Gates better insults.
I feel like... Listen, you make music on an Apple? Fruity Loops. PC really nails down what the makers of epic rap battles feel about this.
Also, I thought this was an amazing LMFAO song. I miss that band a lot.
They had a good time.
Yeah,
they were there to have a good time.
Yeah.
Not a long time, but a good time.
I agree with you. Hal 9000 was lame. I feel like he brought down the song a whole...
I get what they were going for,
yeah.
But meh. I just don't like it that much.
4 stars on that one.
Yep.
Let's move on to Frank Sinatra versus Freddie Mercury.
Another one. They intentionally had one person lose.
Oh, boy.
Don't get me wrong. Frank Sinatra is good.
Yeah, he's really good. Both of them are really in character.
Lloyd is good at playing heel, as it were, because he knows how to lose gracefully. But they intentionally, like, Freddie Mercury was written to win this, and therefore he does hard.
I was just really well put together.
The Frank Sinatra was good. Mm-hmm. The Freddie Mercury was astoundingly good, honestly.
Yeah, really, really good. I gave that one a 4 stars as well.
Yep.
We slide into our first big political one.
Yeah. Preface. We are speaking about the epic rap battle of history with these characters in it. Some of our actual opinion will leak out because we're not robots, but you know what I mean. But what we're talking about here is largely who did better in the video.
Yeah, I 4 years ago, it would have been really hard for me to put that aside for some of these.
Oh, I wonder which one.
I have really big opinions on Frank Sinatra. But I don't. It's Freddie Mercury all the way. I try not to get personal. Like, obviously, in a lot of these, I'm like, oh, yeah, I like that guy a lot better. Oh, yeah, I like that guy a lot better.
But you try and judge it on, like, you judge the moves they bring to the table. Mm-hmm. You judge it on the bars. You judge it on the flow. You don't judge it on, I go into this battle liking that person more. That will come up later. several times.
Well, and in this sense, exactly. If we're talking about the original players in the rap, I think Mitt Romney won this one.
I think I like some of Obama's lines.
He's got some really good ones.
But fucking, that was a crazy good Mitt Romney impression.
So, like, nightmarishly good.
And it's just, but, I mean, there's only one real winner. There's only ever one real winner of these, and it's Abe Lincoln. As he fucking comes down on his giant eagle to fucking beat the shit out of the candidates and clown them. And I feel like that's the right choice for this series.
Yeah, I like their use of Abe Lincoln specifically because of the historical context of everybody arguing that he was for this party or he was for that party. And
the Republican delegation chooses Abe Lincoln.
So I just think that's a really nice fit for these situations. I do want to say that Obama impression was mediocre. When you're worse than the Game Grumps, it's not a good start.
He's not a hard impression to do either. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, the lines are really good though. But yeah, I gave that a 3 stars. That was an alright one. We'll slide into Doc Brown versus Doctor Who.
This is another one where we softly disagree.
Okay.
You're right. I actually am reading your little note here. Doc Brown's impression was great, and it brought his shit up a whole level because he was doing a great job. I just like the Doctor's raps a little more.
They felt a little too...
Twee?
No, I mean, yeah, but that's the character. They just felt a little too, I don't know. Like, I'm not here to do a rap battle, which I guess would also be in character, but that's the exception to the rule for all of these. Is
like,
you're here to do a rap battle.
To do, like, this person, if they were here to do a rap battle.
Right. So, like, I also feel like they underdid the regeneration thing. I would have tacked, like, another minute on this video.
And just did all of them?
Well, not even necessarily all of them, but, like, hit the big ones.
They hit most of the big ones.
They
missed Eccleston,
like
which...
And they hit, you know...
He's not one of the big ones, but he is in my heart. So, you know what? Doc Brown wins. They missed Eccleston.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was okay. I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah.
And this brings us to Bruce Lee versus Clint Eastwood.
I straight up don't like this.
Okay, that's fair. I feel like there was... I feel like Bruce Lee was a little lame.
I don't like the Bruce Lee. He comes across a little lame. You have a note here, and it's right. The Brandon Lee burn is fucking amazing.
Oh my god, like that's
evil and exactly what you want.
Yeah.
This is one of the times our real opinion just can't not. Most of Clint Eastwood's lines are just racist, and it bothers me.
and let me tell you. Okay, 2 levels here. All right. First of all, and we've never been shy about this in the podcast. Don't be racist. But this is a
controversial
battle rap.
opinion. Racism bad.
This is a battle rap.
A small amount of it is absolutely acceptable.
But it's like all he did was the lowest hanging fruit.
Like, not even Hitler just did Holocaust jokes. He limited it to 1 per battle, and he spent the rest of the time doing Star Wars jokes. There's more to make fun of about Bruce Lee than just the fact that he happens to be Asian.
The Ringo line was pretty good, and like I said, the Brandon Lee
one.
But like, I mean, the rest of it was basically just, you're Asian, you're super Asian. I don't like Asians, you're super Asian.
And I both just like it because it's not fun to listen to for me.
Yeah, no.
And because it makes it really clear that that's what the people who make ERB think of Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, this was fresh off of his
empty chair
speech. So like and it gets a little tinged there.
Like they clearly were a little fucking bitter.
But you know what? If you've got an audience, play to it.
You know what? Actually, I think that might be part of the problem. If it was also off of Gran Torino, where the joke is that all he does is be racist and shoot people.
Okay. But he did hate a lot of Chinese kids in that one.
Yeah, like there's layers that I think that's part of it. I like Clint Eastwood more than them, so I'm upset that they gave him such shitty like material.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
That's fair. I'm not a huge fan of either. Like they're fine.
He's a good actor and a good filmmaker.
Sure, and
as a person,
Bruce Lee did some great shit, but like they're not my stands. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or I'm not their stands rather. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe
Bruce Lee just
Clint Eastwood out there with a stack of my books. I hope he releases the 5th one. Well, if you get on my Patreon, Clint Eastwood,
very rich actor Clint Eastwood,
you can donate what the fuck you want, man. I'll send you everything, man. I don't even care.
I'll send you the chair I'm sitting in right now.
Oh yeah, my dude. I rated this somewhere between a 2 and a 3 because the music was really good and the beat was really nice and the rapping was on rhythm and the impressions were good.
Having talked about it, I think it's mostly just that they give Clint Eastwood shitty material
It's
and there's
just
better
really
material
shitty
there.
Yeah. We're going to move to Batman versus Sherlock Holmes. This is another setup for failure.
But later raps, specifically the second Lloyd versus Peter, make it very clear that it wasn't intentional. Nice Peter thought that was a cool way to play Batman.
That's ridiculous. It was a really good costume.
Fuck?
I do have to say that.
One, but Nice Peter shouldn't have been the one playing Batman. He shouldn't have.
No.
He's too thin. He's a really little man. You should have gotten You should have gotten a big person, a big bad person with muscles, and had them do it. Two, that's a really awful way to play Batman. For this. For Batman versus Sherlock Holmes, I get why they chose it, because they wanted to do a contrast to Sherlock Holmes. They didn't want it to be just two quiet guys doing detective analyzations at each other. But if you don't want to do that, don't make Sherlock Holmes versus Batman, you dork!
I don't know, man. I think that they'd gone full Adam West. That might have been really good.
You know what? I would have loved that.
Yeah. Just Batman saying goofy shit.
That's the thing. There's no real version. There's no version of Batman that's like that Batman until the Lego Batman movies.
Right. He's a Batman parody.
If they had made it Lego Batman versus Sherlock Holmes and just literally used Lego Batman figurines, I would like that.
I don't think that was out at that time.
I don't believe it was either, but, you just didn't. It's not, to quote Epic Lloyd, that is not a cool way to play Batman. And I like both these characters a lot. So again, like the last battle, they gave one guy much shittier material for no reason.
Watson acting as hype man, made Batman seem even lamer. It stuns me that was not an intentional choice. Because you've got Watson there with everything Sherlock says going, that was really awesome, by the way. And it just works so well.
Hype men improve battles.
Hell yeah, my guy. I gave it a 2-star for Batman and Robin. 4 or possibly 5 for Sherlock and Watson. But it feels dirty because the guy feels set up.
It wasn't, though.
That's bizarre.
They legitimately had him say, you look like a duck. I had Alfred read your books. He told me they suck. They had Batman say that to Sherlock Holmes.
That's just so fucking stupid.
Come on, guy. Anyway,
we're going to move on to Moses versus Santa Claus. There was a slow ramp on this one as I watched the video. I'm going to read my comments here. I legit thought that was Snoop for a second. I like that. I like that Santa rap's a little different. Holy shit, that is Snoop.
Yeah.
Because they flash him on the screen at first, for those of you who aren't watching along. They go... And then they show the two guys when they do the barking thing.
Don't get us copyright.
I like that they calmed the fuck down on that. I still didn't care
there
for it.
was a peak, and then it ramped up.
Yeah, he just sort of said stuff. Sometimes he said it kind of goofy, but whatever. Anyway. But it's just a little flash. I'm like, man, that guy looks a lot like Snoop.
And then it was Snoop.
And it was. And he was really good.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna not pick Snoop, but for the first verse and a half, he's not on the beat at all.
He doesn't care.
No, he clearly doesn't care. He's Snoop. This is actually the reverse. This is an amazing, industry-changing rap artist who clearly doesn't give a fuck about this, so he's not even trying to follow.
If I remember correctly, this was during peak I do not give a shit Snoop.
Yeah. And for the first verse and a half, he's not on the beat at all. I can't not pick Snoop, but if someone else did, I wouldn't blame them.
His lyrics were just so good. The flow was so strong.
I mean, he's still Snoop.
Santa Claus's first verse was a little weak. Once he got his elves and his hype men,
yeah,
that was pretty fire. But
who gets lost for 40 years?
Yeah. But, I mean, still, I got to pick Moses. Just not just because he's Snoop. I just thought it was better set up. If the man is not rapping on beat and he still does better than you, that's saying something.
You got crushed. You got slapped.
I mean, I only gave it 3 stars because, Christmas puns. But,
Yeah. When does season 2 end? Do you know?
Season 3 begins here.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We got a lot to go.
Yeah, just a few. I don't have a lot to say about Adam versus Eve.
I don't remember it because I only watched it once. Didn't like it and never watched it again.
It was really lame. Everybody loves Raymond. Gender wars kind of bullshit and whatever.
I'm done with that.
Yeah. I said Eve won because her second verse was good, and I gave it 2 stars. We moved on with our lives. Gandhi versus Martin Luther King.
Who do you have as the winner of this?
I have me watching this. And then in a parenthetical, please don't make me decide. This was Key and Peele.
This was, and they not only are the guest stars, but obviously they are. I remember this from the behind the scenes. They also are in the writers' room. They came on to help write it, and dear Lord, does it show? These are so, like I genuinely think I might know this whole battle verse for verse because it's so fucking good. It's one of the ones that I end up singing all the damn time.
Yeah, and this was a really solid. I mean, I like Key and Peele away from this, so maybe that weighed my vote.
That definitely helps. The other Key and Peele one is also really good.
Oh yeah, it is.
But it's Gandhi versus Martin Luther King. Literally every verse is great. It's funny. It's a good insult. The flow is really good. There isn't a bad verse in this song for either person.
Yeah.
There is one line which is for me so like head and shoulders above everything else, just because it made me cackle the first time I heard it, that I have a winner and it's Martin Luther King, and they're so close. It's literally just I have so much street cred they put my name on the signs.
That was a good one. I did like that one a lot. It's too close for me.
And that's absolutely fair.
Yeah, that's a 5-star performance. Let's move on to something that isn't. Nikola Tesla versus Thomas Edison.
This is one of those times that the person I definitely like a lot less won. Thomas Edison won this. It wasn't fucking close.
Here's the trick for me. And I may comment on this. I don't know what footage we have of Thomas Edison, but and I'm going to assume it was Nice Peter based on his shapes, did a weird performance that was all teeth.
You've got them reversed. That's Lloyd.
Okay, it's been a long time.
Lloyd is the Ego Raptor. Nice Peter is the Danny.
I would have cast Peter as Thomas Edison in this situation, which is probably why my brain did that. Because he just made this big. He's all talking with his teeth, like that one guy who got that reality show.
I liked it. I thought it was a fun little bit.
It was so bizarre that it brought me right. I was like, okay, yeah, Nikola Tesla doing a verse. This is okay. Thomas Edison made of teeth, scaring me a little.
Like, it's just as much as I prefer, like, Tesla is in the great Tesla Edison war. I come down very specifically on one side.
I think
not
most
Tommy
people
Boy.
do. Who's out there rooting for Thomas Edison? People who don't know.
But in a rap battle, this is not close. He fucking pancaked him, and I have no idea why people pick Tesla.
I wish I could back it up right now, but I don't know. Like,
he has like a couple good lines, and he basically, his whole thesis is the problem is Thomas Edison takes his whole shit apart in the first verse.
That's fair. I will agree with that.
He destroys Tesla's entire thesis for his whole rap battle. You're an evil shitbag who stole from me and stole from other people by going, yup, and I'm rich. What are you going to do about it? And in a rap battle, that wins. That wins.
Maybe it just didn't have the charisma for me that needed to be there, because that's, Thomas Edison, big charismatic guy. I say that like I've met the man.
Well, I mean, like, he didn't get the name the Wizard of Menlo Park just by stealing other people's inventions. He also sold them.
3 stars. Lance Armstrong versus Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Also, Lance Armstrong is working heel the whole battle, not just the first verse.
No, and I realized that after the fact because it was right around his scandal popped up, and man, they were mad at him.
Yeah, they could. Sometimes it's clear the folks who write ERB have a particular stance on a subject, and they had Babe Ruth come and just booty blast Lance Armstrong.
It was a really good Babe Ruth too.
Yeah, it was a good Babe Ruth. Lance Armstrong wasn't bad. He had some good verses, but this is one of those times when what little battle rap I actually have watched comes in. If you spend more of the battle explaining why the other guy's bars aren't like that bad, Like if you're on the defense the whole time, the other guy wins. And Lance just didn't spend enough time punching. He spent too much time going, yeah, I did it. What? And it just, Babe Ruth destroyed him.
I also think it suffers because how do you impersonate Lance Armstrong? It's like the classic Whose Line Is It Anyway bit where Colin Mockery is Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah.
And he just speaks in his
Hi,
regular
I'm
speaking
Craig
voice.
T. Nelson.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, I'm Lance Armstrong.
Right. Who the fuck is Lance Armstrong? Like, I mean, obviously I know who he is, but Babe Ruth is a character. He was larger than life when he was alive.
And this is one of those ones where the last verse is really, like, that wins the battle, because he just, like, got up on his fucking soapbox and berated Lance Armstrong.
I gave it a 3 stars. It was all right.
That's fair. That's what it deserves.
We'll move on to Skrillex versus Mozart.
I really actually like Mozart in this
Really?
battle. Yeah, like, he does poop jokes and, like, not, but, like, it's the movie Amadeus. That's what he did. He was an immature dick.
He was. I just feel like he was also a fucking rock star. You know what I mean?
And
like, that's a really tired line, but he was.
And he acted that way. He acted like an asshole who likes poop jokes and is really fucking good.
It just felt. I don't feel like the really fucking good was there. I don't feel like he delivered on substance.
He just kind of sounded pretentious, because if you
if
you don't buy the skill, that's how it sounds.
Yeah.
Skrillex won this, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not close. His entire second verse is Skrillex albums and also
It
Burns.
was so cool. It was so well done, and also I thought it was actually Skrillex for a minute.
Did you know? Fun fact. I believe it was on one of the late night Jimmys. I don't know which one.
Please don't rustle the late night Jimmys.
I'm a rustle them. That it may have been on some other similar format show. They had Lloyd come on as Skrillex and do this song. They had the boys come on and do Mozart versus Skrillex. And then for Skrillex's second verse, Skrillex showed up and did the second verse with Lloyd.
Oh, how hot. That's awesome.
And he's not a rapper, so he didn't do great, but he did it!
That's so cool. That's awesome.
But
dude.
yeah, the entire second verse is both great burns, great flex bars, and Skrillex albums. He wins.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
you
it was
lose.
good. Yeah. 3 stars overall for that one. And we bring us to the end of this podcast. I hope you guys are excited for the next one. What a brilliant idea, the boy. Rasputin versus Lenin, which is I think what it starts at. And then we get Putin and Stalin and Gorbachev.
I believe...
Not in that order.
No. It's... I think it starts... It starts off... Yeah, it starts off Rasputin versus Lenin, then it goes Stalin, then Gorbachev, then Putin. Or Gorbachev. It goes in chronological order.
Gorbachevichov.
Gorbachev.
Chase.
I don't fucking know who won this. I don't know.
Even mine is an indecision, because you have this expertly crafted Rasputin, who I like Rasputin, like, in terms of being a figure. I think he's interesting. But, like, even still, they just did a really good job historically.
No, it starts off as Rasputin versus Stalin.
Does it? Okay.
And then Lenin comes in.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Because there's a specific line that is one of Rasputin's lines that sticks with me, which is, cool mustache, Wario.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mentioned that as well. And then here comes Putin, who is not accurate, not at all. It's this
He's meme
Putin, but it's so fucking good.
It's so funny. It's so funny. And also, again, another line you wrote down, I spit hot borscht when I'm crushing these beats, is such a good line.
I listened to it twice. I listened to this song twice. I did not do that with any of the other ones. This is 5 stars as fuck. Amazing.
PewDiePie's in this.
Is he?
Yeah, he's Baryshnikov.
Oh, okay, cool. And you know, I might have recognized him at the time, but it didn't bother me.
But yeah, no, it's really good. Lenin's is really good. They did him in the Leninade cover colors.
Yes.
And fucking
Gorbachev is amazing.
Gorbachev is amazing. Did someone say birthmark?
Oh man.
Well, now I'm gonna start doing the Guardians of the Galaxy thing because this is a really good one. But like, I think I have to give it to either Putin or Stalin.
Okay.
Because as much as I love Rasputin, the rest of the guys, Putin has he has the last bit, which gives him a position of advantage in these multi-person battles. But more importantly, he's just so swagger-driven. And I feel like in these multi-person battles, swagger wins. And that comes up later.
I made a facial tick that suggested that, but y'all can't see me. Y'all looking at... Fuck, I don't know.
I swear to God, Stalin shot his little run of everyone who sold you a pierogi shot.
Yeah,
I stopped
so
the video the first time I watched it and had to leave. It was so funny.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us on this journey. Wow,
it was an hour.
It just hit an hour.
Nice. So about this. Yeah, nice. Guess what? You're going to get another one of these.
Hell yeah, my friends. Until then, keep your pants tight and your wraps tighter.
Everything's better when nerds talk about it.